Today we're talking about eBay giving away some free shipping supplies, as well as what may be a major another blunder by eBay. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about an announcement eBay made about giving away some free shipping supplies to those with a store, as well as what looks like it could be another major blunder by eBay. I want to preface this conversation first by stating that I gain nothing if eBay doesn't do well. I would rather just sell on eBay than have to branch out to make up for eBay's shortcomings. I just wished eBay would run fine so there would be no issues and they would gain customer base and gain sales and the whole works. For those of you who've been on a year or more on eBay, you do probably remember when eBay lost millions, tens of millions of photos from everybody's listing. They just randomly lost some over a 45-hour period, I do believe. While looking through Terapeak, there seems to be another similar issue where tons and tons and tons and tons of photos are totally missing, the thumbnails for items. Now with Terapeak, you can only see the actual listing if it's 90 days or less old. And all the other ones you have to judge by that thumbnail. Now I know many people say it's not much good having the thumbnail, but you can enlarge the font, the size of the screen, and look at the thumbnails like a full screen if you really want to. Just FYI. But when they're missing, you really can't do anything with it. We're going to hop into Terapeak right now and look at what I'm talking about so you can see for yourself. In many cases, the historical data in Terapeak is totally useless in the vintage collectibles items without a thumbnail. It's just no information that you can glean from it. A word, a title means nothing in most cases for vintage and collectibles. And from there, we'll hop over and look at eBay's announcement about the free shipping supplies for stores. So here we are in Terapeak. If you look at Terapeak a lot like I do, this is something that just stands out. Now, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had a notice at the top of the page that said some data may be unavailable while we reorganize or something like that, the catalog of items. Now, that's been weeks and weeks ago, and that message didn't appear at all until it had been going on for quite some time. Just like last time more than a year ago when they lost all those photos, there was no announcement. They never announced it even happened till well after the fact. When you called in, they pretty much denied it was going on. The whole works online until a couple days had passed. Now, on some pages, though, when you're searching Terapeak, 90% of the thumbnails or images in general are gone, especially when you're searching for the past year. This page is missing quite a few, as you can see. No thumbnail, no thumbnail, no thumbnail, no thumbnail, all the way across. And as you dig through the results a little better now, you can see tons of them missing. In some cases, as I said, it's 90%. In most categories, it's 40 to 60% of the ones that I look for. Like this page here, again, there's tons of them missing on this one. There's very few that actually have them, including here, a huge stretch of them. The majority of the ones that are missing are over 4 months old. Some of them go back to June and do have them, but there's a huge chunk, 5, 6, 7 months worth of information in some cases that do not have thumbnails. We all know eBay is hesitant to ever announce they did anything wrong when stuff like this happens. Again, this data is useless for me to use for searching. This is supposed to be a benefit of being on eBay, that you can search this data. But there is no information available for tons and tons of things, pretty much, again, making this useless. This never happened before when Terapeak was separate from eBay like this, when this option wasn't in there. There's many features that Terapeak itself has that's not available on here as well, or doesn't work. So this is something they've had on here for quite some time. It's been announced for a while, and again, if you're unaware, the person in charge of IT for most of eBay, from what I can see, has left the company. Same thing for the API. The person who did the API, same person, isn't there anymore. The API has many issues with it, lots of IT issues related. Again, look at it yourself. Look at some categories. Now, main, big, huge categories, most of those do seem to be there, at least the few that I've looked up, but I don't sell in those categories. I go by the vintage one. And again, as I said, this is useless to be missing stuff, the most important aspect of it. Titles for me mean very little. If it's a card with like Lincoln on it. I got to know what the card looks like for it to be of any use to me whatsoever. And just looking at this, category after category are like this. This page here, probably 75 or 80% of the listings on this page are minus thumbnails. The most important, the most useful aspect of this. Here's another one for RPPCs, real picture, real photo postcards. There's a ton missing in here. But when you go through the pages and actually look page by page, there are some pages that only have 1 or 2 thumbs for the entire 50-run page. So it's just kind of bad that they've, again, looks like they've messed it up completely where a ton of these are gone. It's going to take months, 6, 7 months to fill up a whole year's worth of data when so much is missing. Now, as we go through these, we'll see tons of pages like this. There's at least 20% or more in almost every single page that I look at. And as I said, in some pages, 90% of the thumbnails are gone. Some searches, the entire category search that I did, I only had 10% of them with thumbnails. What happened? No idea. There's no announcements. There's no nothing that there's an issue. The notice stating that there was something going on, totally gone. Last time eBay lost photos, they didn't tell anybody. They're oblivious to it. They didn't really reimburse for all of the time. I still have listings from more than a year ago that are missing photos because of eBay's glitch. So again, what happened? Who knows? Is eBay going to announce it? Who knows? But this is a major mix-up. This totally destroys the research data for a whole year. It's totally useless in my book because so much of it is hidden. There's no thumbnails. That thumbnail loss is the biggest factor. And again, if you want to be able to see those when thumbnails are there, you can enlarge your screen 200, 300, 400% and see those thumbs like a full-sized image. That's the best way. But if they're not there, as I said, it's totally useless to me. Now let's look at the announcement from eBay. On the announcements page, straight from eBay on the free supplies. If you look at this one, it's just from this month, June, just a few days ago. eBay is going to be sending out another coupon to everybody who has a store in just a few days from what this looks like. Looking into here, there's no explanation on what you are actually getting. It just says another one will be out there. So what happens, I do not know, but they are announcing that they are going to be giving stuff away, more supplies. So if you normally get free shipping supplies, you will get some extra. Now, they also talk about advertisements and doing TV commercials and things along that line. Now, eBay never did those in the past. They used to criticize them. Why they're doing them now is only because of the pandemic. eBay's sales are way up, again, because of the pandemic, not because of anything eBay did. Amazon's a perfect example. Amazon did nothing extra, nothing different, and their sales are through the roof. Same thing with eBay because so many people were home. Again, it's not something eBay orchestrated that gained them these things. It's all due to a pandemic. Again, the free shipping supplies are only for those with a store, from what this post says. But that's what I have for you today. Well, there you are. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of a contradictory thoughts. Unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people. One will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.